No, we have some significant news for the Green Bay Packers. Sources say they have informed Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander of his release.
You heard that right, guys. Jaire Alexander is officially out of Green Bay as of right now on June 9th. My initial reaction, I am a little shocked, but I am not shocked at the same time. But before we get into the video, if you're brand new, especially if you're Packers fans, hit that subscribe button because it only takes 2 seconds, and I'm going to break down my reaction towards this news. But yeah, let's get into it. I made a video about a month ago going over the whole Jaire Alexander drama. You know, for the last couple of years, you know, he's been injury prone. His relationship with the coaches, his relationship with the players, all that little drama. So like I said, I made a video about a month ago, and my prediction was that he would end up staying in Green Bay. And like I said, I made that about a month ago, and it seemed pretty good. It was going to happen in the last few weeks. There's been a lot of progress. At least we all thought there was progress of him and, you know, coming back to Green Bay, the negotiation with the restructured contract. But again, that all fell down the drain because he just got released. So with this release, the Packers will be saving $17.1 million for this year, and about probably between 10 and 15 for next year. I didn't look at the exact number, but this year's dead cap is $7 million and next year's dead cap is $9 million. So according to Albert Breer, the Packers tried to basically give him a 1-year contract for this year only, heavily incentive-wise. So saying like if he made a lot of games, or he played a lot of games, he made a lot, you know, a certain amount of interceptions, you know, he would basically make up to what he was projected to get paid already this year, which was $24 million. But again, next year he would be a free agent. But the current deal was a 2-year contract, so he's on the contract under 2 years, of course. But Jaire and his camp did not like that, which I don't blame him at all. There has been multiple reports that the Bills were actually trying to trade for him back in March, but obviously that did not fall through because the Bills were not willing to pay that salary. And again, I do not blame the Bills either because he was projected to make $17 million in base salary, so that's what the Bills would have ended up paying him. But again, a lot of teams did not want to pay over $17 million for Jaire Alexander, and that's why everything fell apart for the Packers. So now the cornerback room for the Packers currently is Nate Hobbs. We got Keyshawn Nixon and Kerry Valentine are the top 3. We also got Javon Bullard, that is a safety slash cornerback. So it's like this Packers unit last year was pretty good in the secondary. It had some bad up and down moments, of course, but Jaire Alexander missed about 75% of the season, so it's not like it's a huge downgrade. You know, again, going into this year, I think it is going to be a downgrade, of course, because Jaire Alexander could be a top 10 cornerback. But again, the biggest question mark is availability. And, you know, that's the best thing you can have is availability. And Jaire Alexander is just too injury prone. Like I said, even in my last video with Jaire Alexander, I just wish this was resolved a lot quicker, because then we could have addressed it in the draft. We could have addressed it in free agency, or, you know, like make another trade. But it's already June 9th. You know, we're already over halfway through this offseason. The things still can happen. You know, we can maybe target a Jalen Ramsey. I don't know. I know the Dolphins are trying to ship him up out of Miami, but there's other cornerbacks maybe out there. You know, it frees up more room for, like, you know, possibly, you know, extending Elgin Jenkins for Zach Tom. Maybe we can go get a Trey Hendrickson in the trade, since now we have a little bit more extra money for this year and next year. So there's a lot of things the Packers could do with this. It sucks because, again, I wish this was to happen, you know, way earlier in the offseason so we could have addressed it. And I already see the Packers cornerback room improving overall by Nate Hobbs replacing Eric Stokes. And like I said, I do like Carrington Valentine a lot. Keyshawn Nixon had a pretty good year next year, and Javon Bullard going into his second year. So I think the secondary is going to be a little bit more improved in that aspect. But and now current depth of our cornerback is definitely a little shaky. And in all honesty, I don't blame Jaire Alexander not wanting to do that contract, because it was not looking good for him in guaranteed money. And of course, as a player, you want the most guaranteed money you can get. And again, I don't blame Jaire whatsoever. But now, looking at it, I could absolutely see him sign with the NFC North team. Of course, I do not want to have that happen at all. But if he joins Minnesota or Chicago, I mean, come on, man. So again, kind of to wrap up this video, Jaire Alexander, of course, gets cut. He's only 28 years old, and he will be picked up 100%. I don't see him signing a huge contract with anyone else. Maybe like a 1 year, 2 year max deal for probably about $10, $12 million. I can absolutely see somebody else signing for that for a 1 year, 2 year deal. Like I just said, $10 to $12 million. But the Packers were not paying him $24 million. I don't blame the Packers, and I don't blame Jaire Alexander at all for not wanting to take that contract. Basically ripped it all apart and make it incentive based. But it is what it is, dude. Let me know down in the comments of what you think about this releasing. Is it good? Is it bad? Of course, it's not really technically good for the Packers, but it's not a big difference. Predict where he's going to go next. Is he going to go to the NFC North team? Is he going to go to the Bills? Is he going to go to the Ravens? One of those teams were basically, heavily rumored to trying to get him. But yeah, like, it is what it is, guys. Jaire Alexander's saga is finally over, unfortunately. But I'm out of here. Deuces.